Hello! Today's stories come from r/Am I the Butthole? We've got three stories. Our first was the top story of the week and had a couple of updates I managed to find that I haven't seen elsewhere. The story is, am I the butthole for bringing my sister in law's wallet to the restaurant when she conveniently always forgets it? I'm a 28-year-old female, and my sister in law, Amy, is a 26-year-old female, always comes to visit from out of town. She stays with us instead of a hotel and always wants to go to expensive restaurants. She always conveniently forgets her wallet or comes up with some excuses as to why she can't pay her share. She has implied that since I make much more money than her, I should be the one to pay. No, not my husband should pay, but me, specifically. I do make a fair amount of money, but not so much that I can treat someone every time they come into town. Nonetheless, in the past, I have just paid the bill and asked her to pay me back. She never has. She had made a reservation at an extremely expensive restaurant last night, and before we left, I made it clear that I wouldn't be paying her bill. This is where I might be the butthole, and I'll admit I got this move straight from an episode of Two and a Half Men. As we were leaving, her and my husband went to the car. I pretended I forgot something and went back inside. I found her wallet sitting right on top of her suitcase. I put it in my purse, and we went to the restaurant. When we were done eating, I asked for separate bills. She said, no, we need one bill because she forgot her wallet again. I reached in my purse and said, this wallet? She was extremely furious. She said that I should not have touched or grabbed her wallet. So am I the butthole for taking her wallet and bringing it to the restaurant? Edit. Wow. Thanks for all the awards. Geez. Whew. So many comments that I can't keep up. And thank you to everyone who had something to say. Edit 2. Amy just called me. She saw this post and she yelled at me for badmouthing her on the internet. Honestly, I don't care. Amy, hopefully reading all these comments is a wake up call for you. Update 1. Some answers to common questions. Question. Why does dear husband keep letting Amy in? Without getting into too much detail, he has always been expected to pay for nice things for the females in his family. He's also been kind of scammed out of large sums of money by his family. That's slowly been shut down over times, and we're working on shutting down this dinner/outings thing. He allows this because he feels bad that they don't have a lot of money. It's sad, but that's how his family got along for a very long time, being dishonest about anything and everything to get their hands on some extra money or extra financial help. I could write a book on some of the things I've seen them do over the years. It hasn't been easy to show these people how wrong this is. He has talked to Amy about being cheap, has had come to Jesus talks with her, and genuinely has always felt that each next time would be different. We've been in therapy addressing this, and he's learned to set boundaries. This restaurant thing is a boundary that he hadn't yet set. It's hard to set all boundaries all at once when you actually had no clue what boundaries were and have had no boundaries for years. Question. Does he pay too? We are married. My money is his money. When I mentioned Amy specifies I should pay, I meant more that she specifies since I make good money, we as a whole shouldn't be cheap. Question. What was the point if you ended up paying? I knew Amy wasn't going to pay. She always finds a way not to pay. I went to the restaurant fully expecting to foot the bill. I did this because I saw it on a show and thought it would be funny to do in real life, to be completely honest. The point wasn't really to get her to pay, it was more to show her that the forgot my wallet excuse was getting old. Question. Is Amy banned from visiting? Fortunately, this post turned out to be a good thing. Dear husband has always had it in his head that Amy is a good person and has her reasons for being sneaky and cheap, like I mentioned above. In his head, it's not her fault she is the way she is. It's the circumstances of their upbringing that cause her to make bad decisions. But seeing Amy's reply to my post and people's response to Amy has really changed his thinking. That's the first time Amy has outright admitted that she's purposely taking advantage. Reading some of the other comments has also been eye-opening for him. So, dear husband has told Amy that she's not welcome here, at least not for a long while. Judgment. Thanks for lots of not the buttholes, but I liked one commenter's, sometimes it's okay to be the butthole. I think that's exactly what it was here. It was a butt-like move, but also outweighed by Amy's general buttness. Thanks again. This is the end of this. I won't be giving any more updates or comments. Update 2. Sister-in-law's response, edited by you/Saint Godfather. This is Amy. My friend told me they saw this post and everyone is saying I'm a leech. The thing my sister-in-law did not tell you all is she has no problem paying for her own sisters and she always singles me out and expects me to always pay. She takes her sisters to restaurants and never makes them pay. Ever since she is with my brother is so cheap. He used to always help me and my mom because we don't have a lot of money, and he stopped doing that ever since he's with her. He used to always help me and my mom with our bus tickets to come visit to see him and to visit my niece. Now he always says he doesn't have money. So maybe I am wrong for always forgetting my wallet, but it's not fair that she always pays for her own sisters, but not for me. She would never take her sister's wallet and embarrass her at a restaurant trying to make her pay. Taking my wallet and sneaking it to the restaurant when she can afford to pay for things is so messed up. In our culture, the older sibling always pays. She is so cheap. Why can't she just treat me? Why does she have to only treat her sister and make me look like a bad person when I expect the same treatment as her sisters and she has so much money to waste? I hope people don't think I'm a butthole when they learn more about the situation. OP's response: wow, I can't. My sisters are in university working their butts off to pay their own tuition, so yes, I treat them occasionally. They don't come to my house expecting me to pay for everything. How much money I earn is not anyone's business. How I spend my money is not anyone's business. My husband is cheap now because we have a mortgage to pay and a child to take care of. I also didn't have much money to my name at a time in my life, but I never mooched off of anyone or expected anyone to pay my way. Not even my own parents. You figure that out on your own. Get the heck off my post and go complain to someone who cares. Oh my. It always gets a bit spicy when the subject of OP's story shows up in the comments. I think I'll have to go with the commenter that said, sometimes it's okay to be a butthole. And I like that OP owned it. Let's see what others suggested in the comments. Jizzy Lizzie said, not the butthole, but you totally should have flipped the switch, left your wallet at home, only brought your license, so she had to cover the whole bill, then never taken her out to a restaurant again. OP replied, wish I had thought of that. Bitter Conflict said, she made the reservation and invited you. Etiquette says she would be responsible for 100% of that bill, not the butthole. High on Acrylic said, it's the same principle with dates. The person who asks chooses the restaurant, ideally with the other person in mind, and then pays the bill, not the butthole. Clarification. I worded this kind of poorly. This is my own approach to dates, but whatever works for you and the people you date is cool. Tempting Penguin said, not the butthole, awesome power move. But when is your husband going to step up and make her pay her share? OP replied, they've bullied and manipulated him like this his whole life. He's gotten so used to it that he doesn't see the bigger issue. Old habits die hard. Trying to help him stand up for himself, but it's an uphill battle. Buckle up, our second story is a controversial one. Am I the butthole for telling my daughter I won't be paying for her college unless she attempts a relationship with my family? I'm a 38-year-old male, and I have a 19-year-old daughter, Ariel, with my ex-wife, Lauren, 39-year-old female. We had Ariel too young, and it was a huge struggle. We moved into Lauren's families. I was working multiple jobs. Me and Lauren were best friends through all this. But things ended when Ariel was 2. Lauren's friend Tori, 38-year-old female, told me that Lauren had been messaging guys, and when they went out, she would give out her number. I checked Lauren's phone and found it. I asked for a divorce. Lauren was upset and wanted to reconcile. I didn't and got split custody. Lauren made my life a nightmare. Lauren badmouthed me, would miss pickup times, and make decisions without talking to me. Her dad offered money to relinquish custody. I told him off. Ariel is now 19 and just started college. The deal was me and her mom would split it. I remarried Tori when Ariel was 6. Tori was a rock during the divorce, but we didn't date till 2 years later. Lauren used this to warp Ariel against Tori and our son, a 13-year-old male. She excludes them. Whenever she spends the night, she will just talk to me or go to her room if my family was around. Our son walks to the basement if she comes over. It hurts me a lot. I spent thousands on therapy before people bring that up. It still is being utilized. But at this point, Ariel is being nasty for the sake of it. Her mom has convinced her I cheated with her friend and had a baby, which is funny because, as I've pointed out, the timelines don't even match up. I've done everything at this point, including family time, one-on-one, and therapy. Ariel is plain rude to them, and they are done trying. Ariel graduated from high school in May and hosted a party. I was invited, but my family wasn't. I told Ariel I found that disrespectful. So I'd sent a card but wouldn't be going. She didn't care, and we haven't spoken since. I get a call from Lauren saying she paid the first semester and was wondering when I'd be paying. I said I was no longer paying, as I'm not pulling money out of my household when Ariel is disrespectful to 2/3 of it. My ex went off, saying we had an agreement. I reminded her of when her dad tried to buy my custody and said, you have what you've always wanted, full control and custody. You won, so figure it out. Then texted her that I've been putting up with this long enough. She got her 18 years of child support from me, so until she planned on setting the record straight that I was done with both of them. And I blocked her. I called Ariel and told her the same. Gave the reasons I'm not paying and told her she needed to look into loans. But I would pay for college if she at least tried to form a bond with my family, because she created this situation with her attitude. So if she wants my help, she needs to attempt it. She started crying, but I didn't fall for it. Told her what my expectations were and to let me know what her plan was so I could move the money around. My wife is on my side here, saying we've been the bad guys for long enough. But I'm getting crap from others. Am I the butthole? Like I said, it's a controversial one. Ultimately, people have the right to do what they want with their money, and they also have the right to change their mind. As we'll hear in one of the comments, I think the timing is the issue here. OP should have addressed the way his daughter was treating Tori and his son way earlier, establishing clear boundaries and expectations about their family. On to the comments. I've selected opposing views just for fun. Alan said, not the butthole. Everyone who is saying OP is the butthole or everyone sucks here needs to get off their high horse and put themselves in his shoes. His daughter treats him like an ATM, all the while disrespecting him. What's worse is she wants him to pay for college with money that will come from both him and his new wife, who she treats like crap. Like it or not, they are family, and if she refuses to be a part of that family, she has no right to additional support from him. She can't have it both ways. He paid child support. He made sure she was taken care of growing up. She is now an adult and has to deal with the consequences of her actions. For everyone who said anything other than not the butthole, you all know you would do the same thing in OP's shoes. Fracking people like to be morally outraged hypocrites these days, and that crap needs to stop. Edit. And to everyone saying he pulled the rug out from under her, seriously, people, maybe he made a promise to help her, but that doesn't allow her to act like a butthole. If you're a butthole to people in the real world, they wouldn't help you no matter what you promised. Why is it different for her father? This is her mother's doing, and if her grandfather wanted to buy out his custody of her, then her conniving mother can get him to pay for college. Claire Clary said, you're the butthole. Not for not paying your part of the agreement, but for springing this on them now, so late in the game. Forms for college grants and loans are due in winter for the following year. It is now almost September when classes start and tuition is due. You waited until the very last minute to give your daughter ultimatums, and now, when she's got nowhere else to turn, you threaten her entire college year. That is manipulative, exploitative, and contemptible. Financial aid forms are submitted once a year. If you were a man of your word, you'd pay your share this year, as you agreed to do, and let your daughter know that next year she has to figure out her tuition on her own. But by the comments you're leaving all over the place, I know you probably won't do that. You've decided you're done with your daughter, and you don't care one whit what happens to her. Our third story is, am I the butthole for sending my boyfriend a photo of me at the hospital? I'm a 20-year-old female. I was recently admitted into a hospital for a night due to a serious but not life-threatening illness. I was completely out of it for several days with horrible pain before my roommate convinced me to get medical help. She took off work to stay with me in the hospital, and I cannot express how much her support has helped me as my own family lives too far away. Now, I've been dating Sam, a 19-year-old male, for about 9 months. He knew I was sick, and so I texted him when I was first going into the hospital to update him. Since he was working, he didn't read the message until much later. I sent him around 6 texts updating him with what the nurses were saying and including a photo of me on IV giving a thumbs up. It was my first time ever in the hospital, and I just wanted to keep the bad situation as lighthearted as possible. He responded a few hours later with a thumbs up, and that was all. I asked if everything was all right, and he said, yeah, just you being in the hospital is giving me a lot of anxiety. I'd rather not see you looking like that. I told him that was okay and didn't message him for the rest of the night, not thinking much of it. The next afternoon, his mom called me asking if I was okay. She had the impression that I sent him the hospital photo after he told me not to share any information and was disrespecting his request. She reminded me that his grandfather only died a year earlier, where Sam had to spend a lot of time in and out of the hospital, so the updates were making him grieve all over again. I apologized to her and sent him a text saying that I didn't mean to hurt his feelings. He left me on read. My roommate thinks I didn't do anything wrong at all, and he's being too sensitive and immature for involving his mom. Personally, I think this is a bit unfair, as he was really close with his grandfather and struggles with anxiety. I feel really, really guilty, as I know how mental health can be and never want him to suffer. Am I the butthole? Update. This morning, I woke up to a text from Sam asking for a break. He told me he needed to focus on himself and that there is too much drama in this relationship. I agree. I've been with Sam through all of his anxiety attacks, holding him crying in my arms more times than I can count. He has never done the same for me. I've made excuses over and over again for this behavior. I've begged him to go to therapy and he's always refused. This hospital stay and your comments have been eye opening. Oh, and his mom? She reminded me to let go of my feeling and do what's best for me. I'm starting up therapy because I'll be needing the support when you're gone. I actually laughed out loud at that one. She hasn't reached out to me yet, and I hope she never does. My roommate and I are figuring out how to end things once and for all. So, yep, that's it for now. Feeling a lot of emotions, but I know it's for the best. Also, thank you so much to all the lovely Redditors who have given advice and wish me well. I'm doing much better and appreciate it a ton. Oh my gosh, not the butthole and good riddance. What the heck? How did OP's hospital visit turn into a Sam thing? I mean, if hospitals upset him and he didn't like the photo, he could have just communicated that. And I don't know, perhaps he could have done so after asking if OP was actually okay, because that's a normal thing to do in a relationship. My goodness, not the butthole, not the butthole, not the butthole. Let's check out some funny comments. Ribbon said, he told his mommy on you, not the butthole. The Angster Gangster added, drop him OP and find someone who is going to be at your side when you are sick. Instead of whining to his mommy, someone else added, OP, he's trying to break up with you without having to do the dumping. Someone else said, not the butthole, this guy isn't ready to be an adult, let alone in a relationship. You were in the hospital, and rather than expressing concern, he talked about his own anxiety. And then he sent his mommy after you? Run. All the red flags. Angels and Insects shared, it's like lobsters. You've just measured him. He's not grown enough. Put him back in the sea. I had one boyfriend, he was 26 at the time, who visited me once when I was in the hospital for a week. We'd been together 2 years and we're living together. We didn't last. My next boyfriend was 21 when I was hospitalized. I was between their ages. On our first anniversary of meeting, he was in the hospital with me holding the cardboard checkup trays and visited every day. Both had difficult shift patterns. I'm still with number two now, 19 years later. You're not the butthole unless you break fishing law and don't return the baby lobster to the sea. If you've enjoyed the story and would like to hear more, consider liking, subscribing, and leaving a comment. Thanks, and bye for now.